Hey people, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of paint finishes, or sheens. Choosing the right sheen can be as important as picking the perfect paint color. But don't worry paint enthusiasts, because by the end of this video, you'll be a finish fanatic. Someone who's a big fan of Finland. Let's get into the sheen lowdown. Paint finishes, also known as sheens, they determine how light reflects or interacts off of a painted surface. And here's the breakdown of the main players. This can vary from company to company, but the majority of paint finishes are probably going to fall into some of these categories. Today's sponsor is us. ThePaintPeople.com is your go-to destination for quality paint and paint supplies. We're more than just a paint store. We are your partner in bringing color to life. Visit our website today and discover a world of colors, quality, and convenience. And as a thank you for supporting us on YouTube, use coupon code JAMES5 for 5% off your order. First one is flat or matte. This superstar offers a very low or even zero shine velvety look, and it's perfect for hiding imperfections on walls and, more importantly, ceilings, but can sometimes be trickier to clean. The next step up would be low luster or low sheen eggshell. This is going to be a paint finish that's just a touch shinier than a flat, and I normally see it in exterior products for whatever reason. Then we have an eggshell finish, which a lot of people are familiar with already. It's a touch glossier than that low luster, a lot glossier than flat. Eggshell offers a very soft, subtle sheen. It's extremely delicate, kind of like the eggshell it's named after. It's a good compromise between hiding imperfections, but also being somewhat washable, which I think is very important, especially in your higher traffic areas. Then we have pearl. This versatile finish offers a beautiful pearl-like sheen. It's both reasonably durable and hides really minor imperfections. The sheen will be noticeable enough that if you have pretty big dents in your wall, it's going to reflect a little bit. But I find pearl to be great for interior walls that really need that extra washability. Typically, historically, I've seen it used a lot in bathrooms and sometimes kitchens. But now that eggshell and matte finishes are getting pretty good and pretty washable in those more premium products, I tend to see pearl being more so used as maybe a bathroom ceiling paint or sometimes a trim paint for those light duty doors or baseboards in rooms that don't really get touched too much. The finish that I probably prefer to pearl is satin, which is just a touch shinier. It has a little more shimmer to it. Satin really adds a touch of elegance to trim because it's not as shiny as the next one we're going to talk about, but still has a pretty solid amount of durability. Not every product is going to have a satin finish. Usually it goes straight to semi-gloss, which is our next one. And this is going to be the hardworking go-to finish with higher shine, great washability, probably the number one choice for a lot of people as a trim and door finish. Of all the finishes we've talked about, it's going to withstand the most abuse, great for high traffic areas. Sometimes people use it on walls, but I normally don't recommend it. I think it just has too much of a sheen. The only walls that I would see myself using semi-gloss would probably be exterior walls. Still a perfect choice as a trim and door finish. And then you have gloss or even high gloss. High gloss can look mirror-like. It's extremely reflective, making it really ideal for those high-end finishings on cabinets and I guess doors as well, where cleaning is paramount. Because you're having so much shine, however, make sure that whatever surface or substrate you're using it on is very pristine and clean, or you're gonna see every single little imperfection highlighted. I want to get into some numbers here. I want to demystify sheen percentages, because if you've looked into finishes and sheens, you might have seen numbers associated with sheen levels like 50% sheen or 20 to 30% sheen for eggshell, let's say. These numbers simply represent the amount of light that's being reflected by the coating. So here's a general guideline of what you can expect. Depending on the company, flat or matte usually has like a 0 to 10% sheen. Low luster could be around 10 to 15%. And then your medium sheens like your eggshells, satin, and pearls can kind of range from 11 to 30%. Your higher sheen semi-glosses can be around 31 all the way up to like 75. And then your high sheens, your high glosses, 75 to 100, let's say. So there is quite a range. Different companies use different standards of measurement. Not only will companies have varying levels of sheen percentage for their respective products, they'll also have different standards of measurement usually. So not only will you have a percentage most of the time, you'll also have a degree. So if that 15% sheen paint had a 60 degree next to it, it means it was measured when observing that coating at a 60-degree angle. In some cases, companies use 85 degrees as a standard, but I think the most important thing is judge apples to apples. When you are comparing different finish percentages, make sure they're all the same degree at which they were measured. Let's talk about location, interior versus exterior finishes. While some finishes excel indoors, others are weather warriors. So on the interior side of things, washability and hiding imperfections finishes are often preferred. So things like flat and matte, to a lesser degree eggshell these days, those are going to be popular choices for walls and ceilings. Semi-gloss is still probably the most popular trim finish, but I have been seeing a lot more people using satin and pearl, and in some cases eggshell, depending on how good the paint is. Exterior side of things, durability and weather resistance is absolutely crucial. You don't really care about hiding imperfections on the side of your house. You just want the color to last and look good. So I would typically opt for higher sheen finishes like semi-gloss, sometimes called soft gloss as well, as kind of a go-to choice. But if you are going with a premium product, I don't see the problem with going with low luster or even flat, as long as it's certified to be really, really durable and washable. It all depends on the product that you use. But honestly, the best way to choose a finish is just to see it in action. So get samples and paint them on poster boards in different areas of your home to see how the light interacts with them. Unfortunately, with tester pots that you buy at the paint store, they usually come in one finish only. Hopefully your local paint store can give you samples to take home of the finishes themselves, usually on a swatch card. I find those to be super helpful. And here's a bonus tip. Consider the function of the room. How often are you using this room? What kind of things are you doing in the room? High traffic areas like kitchens and hallways, and even bathrooms where people are coming and going, they benefit from those finishes that are easier to clean, like eggshell or even pearl or satin in some cases. And then areas like bedrooms or offices or even a living room that you just look at, you can definitely afford to go with a softer sheen like flat, matte, and then eggshell, just to make sure you're getting an aesthetically pleasing finish that's going to be very forgiving for those minor imperfections in the wall. And another tip, when you're picking a wall color and a trim color, consider contrast in your sheen. So if you want flat walls, skip eggshell and then go straight to pearl or satin on that trim. And if you have eggshell walls, skip pearl and satin and go for a semi-gloss on the trim. I tend to enjoy that combination where you skip a finish for your trim and your walls. I hope this video has empowered you to conquer the world of paint finishes. It can be a bit tricky and intimidating, but now I bet you feel like a paint finish pro. Do me a favor and share your go-to sheens on your projects in the comment section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe on this video, and I'll catch you in the next one, y'all.